Everyone, and welcome to Moonride. This is Dave Johnson. I'm channeling the man in the moon. So I want to know, is Andrew going to rat? What's he going to say? And I'll just see if the universe has anything else to tell me, but this is my principal question. Let's take a look. So, Spirit, will Andrew rat on anyone? So I'm seeing Trump's face, and at first he's smiling, and now the smile is starting to fade. Certainly, Trump is nervous about what he will say. Interestingly, I seen Trump type really quickly, typing, and I don't think Trump types, so it's sort of an odd image. He's typing like crazy. Maybe he's even on his phone, and there's a bunch of sort of assistants in the background, and they're getting really worried. All the assistants look nervous, like, don't write that. We're gonna get caught. Something like this. They feel like the assistants feel like they're worried about their own selves. That, one day they'll be called to talk about the truth and they're nervous about it. Like some people are even considering leaving because the situation is so bad, it's so volatile, it's so potentially illegal that they don't want anything to do with it. One woman in particular is like, I'm out of here. I'm going to walk out of this White House right now. I can't do it. Mm. She actually goes to a bathroom and she's sick to her stomach because she realizes the implications of what's going on. All right, so what's Trump typing or texting about? He's texting to people around Andrew and making, desperate pleas and threats. I see him. I don't know why he's. It's interesting because it's like he didn't want to talk on the phone, right? He didn't want that to get picked up or recorded. I don't know why texting would be any different. And it's people within the British sort of system that he knows. Even Starmer, he might be messaging and letting Starmer know there's going to be some consequences. Now, here's the interesting thing. Here is Starmer, and Starmer is wondering, what's the, what's in it for me to get in bed with Trump right now? I'm already somewhat implicated because I've recommended people that are in the files. It's just interesting that Starmer can feel the pressure. They're a parliamentary system, so Starmer can feel a certain kind of pressure that Trump doesn't. He could be removed at any moment, so he's got to show up as someone who's, opposed to the abuse, as the public, the British public, are focusing on him. And so he's not really wanting to help Donald very much, and it's like, well, he's threatening all these economic sanctions, but he just lost, in the Supreme Court case. They've just told him that he can't do economic sanctions. So what would I support Donald for? This is a, 10 alarm fire for the White House. They no longer have any political power, even with their uh, closest allies. Hey, here's Prince Andrew. You gonna speak? He's mad. Prince Andrew's really pissed off. You can imagine, I just get the feeling of somebody who is so entitled. He's never heard the word no. He could do anything he wanted. No one was there to stop him. And now, here we are in a situation where for the first time he's been scolded and punished. And he's really upset about it. This is just so not fair. That's not what he was promised. He's in a crazy mode. It's like he could, if he were in a car, he would just, and people like Trump were there, he'd run him over. Like he's just a crazed person. He's not following any of the rules. His ex-wife is mad at him. His kids are screaming at him. Everyone is like making him responsible for the first time in his adult life. can't handle it. He doesn't know how to do this. In some sense, it's like, every spoiled child, is really robbed of an identity. No one has said no to them, and they can't handle it as adults. And he just presumed he's a prince. He'll never have to hear the word no. But now look at what's going on. Okay. To, he's starting to show the names of people. So that Lex Wexner guy is the first guy that shows up. He actually shows me Woody Allen. I'm not saying anything about what he's showing about these characters, but they are coming up. And he does show a very furious Trump. Trump is very worried about what Andrew will say. And you know what? Ghislaine Maxwell's showing up too. So I think that there's something he can do to get Maxwell in more trouble, because if she's lied about things on the witness stand, then there's another trial, right? And then there's another situation where they could go, hey, it's life, or you spill the beans. So that's part of the worry. It's who turns in someone, who turns in someone, who turns in someone, who turns in someone. This is a big shift. Like the wheel of fortune, I hope y'all noticed, just shifted dramatically. And I am so much less worried now than I was last week. Supreme Court's come out against Trump, which is really a big message. Maybe we'll ask about that next. But so many things are now suddenly going against him, the podcasters. Tell me more about Andrew, what he might do. And I should say the former prince, Andrew, because he's no longer anything like that. He's out to, Andrew is out to get revenge. He does not have a response other than anger, and who else is he going to be mad at? At least he doesn't have the power over anyone else now anymore. And Andrew's got nothing to lose. If there was ever a statue of him, and I'm seeing one, they will pull it down. He'll never show his face in Britain again. He can't go to the grocery store without somebody slapping him. His children won't speak to him. He is desperate and really nothing to lose. You get a chance. There's a photograph of him in the back of the squad car. And if you look at his eyes, they are the eyes of someone who is having like a psychological breakdown. It's the eyes of someone who's just been through a terrible shock, right? And I'm not feeling sorry for anybody here, except that you can just see he's in just a sort of stunned shock. I think that he really believed he would get a minimal punishment. It's like lightning struck him. He's still stunned. And now he's going to show some kind of hierarchy. It shows up as a hierarchy. He's going to go down the line, right? Starting at the top, right? There is no advantage now to him hiding anybody's name. There is every advantage in telling the truth. Some people have offered him money because that they want to keep him quiet, and now they know he's broke. Won't get any money from his family now. So bankers have offered him money. He's too angry now. He's lost so much that he would rather, he won't starve. I mean, there's some jewels he's going to have to sell, but he won't be able to go to the store, or somebody have to go for him because, he's so unpopular. So this is a dangerous place for him. At the same time, he's just like, I don't care. I am so mad. I'm ready to throw myself into the ocean. And on the way out, I'm taking you down. This is one thing. It's like you get somebody beyond persuasion, someone beyond someone beyond the call of justice even. Now he is going down and he knows it. So can you tell us more? Okay. He's gonna he has like a monocle and he's showing like newspaper clippings, and so he's gonna bring like details and truth to a lot of these things. There are leaders of countries that will go down. There are, and again, it comes to Maxwell. It always comes back to Maxwell. If they've got information that Maxwell lied, they can try her again. And this time they can say, hey, we're sending you to, Yonkers, and you're not going to get any protection, and maybe worse. Like, you can really put the pressure on her such that if she wants to, really survive, she's going to have to do something, and she knows everything. The other thing is there are other people that Epstein could, accuse, who helped. They facilitated. There are other women who had a bigger role, and they are not being prosecuted. He can name them, and they know where all the bodies are buried. And this is the other thing, and this is where, years ago, a lot of us predicted that it is the women that would bring these guys down. And so far, there may be one male, but it appears that what we know is all of those who are coming forward, but one, are women who are survivors of this horrific act. And those women are ready to come forward. And it's like, you can't kill all of us, or you guys are going to be too busy focusing on bribing the prince to go after this, although I can tell that they went after those poor women. Remember, Todd Blanchard released their names, their addresses, their phone numbers, all of that information. It is an absolute disgusting travesty that they put those women in danger again. Okay, so those when it comes down to trusting people, we don't trust Andrew. We don't trust any of these people that are named. The people that we trust are those women. And now that many conservative outlets have sort of put faith in these files, they can now go, oh no, they're lying. There's also a number of them. And so that now they've presented them as truthful characters, now they're going to tell the truth. So it's really a beautiful event in one sense of people who have not been empowered coming forth as a collective group and saying the truth. I know there's a tragedy here, but I also want to present the bravery of these people, the bravery of all of us who have continued down the road to peacefully present the truth. This is a victory, and I hope everybody will notice. And, it is the role of some people to inform us. It is about time that they became human, and I feel like we're seeing that happening. I see that I mentioned the Supreme Court, so let's take a look. And why do they do this? They always do anything Trump wants. You want to you know go ask people for papers even though it's illegal. You can do that. You want to be totally discriminated? Sure, Donald. Do you want to avoid all your court hearings? Yeah, we'll find a way for you. So why change now? They're savvy. They're like, this isn't gonna go well. Let's look at the midterms. We can be impeached too. And personally, I think they should all be arrested because they interfered with the election and are not following the Constitution. But they got a whiff of that. They're like, yeah, what are some people thinking? And they really could get rid of us. And we really are breaking with the Constitution. They really will have a case. So I'm seeing Amy Barrett, and she's just like, yeah. And it's not motivated by anything ethical. It is motivated by, that sword of Damocles that hangs over people, that lets them know, it's just a flip between, January 6th and another event. You could be in a lot of just trouble here life and death trouble. If the MAGA people get that mad, we know what they're going to do. So they're smelling this like, let's start backing off a little bit now and make it look like we're a bit more fair and neutral. And they reading the writing on the wall. This is a big deal for people like Trump because he will not be able to just continue without consequence. He no longer has their support. He cannot count on anything in the future to go his way. It might, but he cannot count on it. He is virtually powerless. It's very important, I think, for us to notice that terrible Congress though it might be, most of them, and I think it's the House of Representatives, all but one guy voted to release the files. Why? They always do exactly what Trump wants. So why did almost 100% of them vote to release those files? They made a decision. They are tired of Trump. They want him to go. They know he's bad for their numbers. These Congress people, on the one hand, they have no ethics. Right? They just do this because it's good for them. But there's an element of disgust. Even these people, and I don't want to dehumanize anyone. Everybody's got to make a living, right? Most of us fall somewhere in a gray area of ethics. This is pretty far down the road, a gray area. I'd say it's pretty black and white. Some of them, and I'm seeing Susan Collins look at the files and go, you know what? I can't do it. You know, January 6th was hard. This one I can't do. It's turning my stomach. And I can just see her reading it and going, oh boy, I am, it's almost like Susan Collins would be saying, one day I'm going to meet my maker. One day I'm going to face the consequences of my ethical decisions. And I could justify things beforehand. Maybe I'm pro-life and so it's okay. January 6th is okay because, I'm saving babies. This is the way that people, to some degree, justify their actions. They are not my opinions, by the way. But this is how they justify it. There's nothing you can justify here. It's just disgusting. And I think this was the underhanded way they could go against Trump without seeming like they're going against him. And it's funny because Susan Collins goes like this, bam, and she slams the book. She just says, I've had enough. I can't do it. I cannot do it. I'd rather quit. And that's a pretty far bridge. I feel good about this image, and I hope all of you will notice that, like literally in the last 2 weeks, the worm has turned in a variety of ways against this direction of dictatorship. And I really want to give credit to those people who around the country who were peaceful in response to the illegal activities of the leadership and the American government, if we can even call it that. I'm really proud of that because we could have gone into a civil war, but we didn't because certain people made extra diligent efforts to make sure nobody creeped in and started a fire, right? That was brilliant work. In the future, that's what people will talk about, the extraordinary efforts and let's call it grace of the people who protested against this regime. And some even lost their lives or liberties. That's something to be really proud of. It shifted things, just like Martin Luther King and Gandhi shifted things. So what I see now is actually a sunrise, sorry. The sun's coming up and it's a new day in America. It's going to shift everything. This will not be over tomorrow, but at the same time, it feels like things will soon begin anew. And maybe some of this darkness had to come up so that we could confront it. And again, I want to say, bravo to those people who came forward for peace and those people who came forward, those survivors for truth. Without those people, we would no longer have a possibility at least of a good government. Thanks so much for watching.